What's good, ladies and gentlemen? Ackle here, and of course, welcome back to each and every one of you. I'm still a little bit sick, so if my voice sounds a little bit weird, I only just got it back today, so that's fun. But no, I've been a little bit sick, so I've been doing a lot of research and doing a lot of thinking, and through my research, I sort of started to realize something, and that's really what this video is about: the future of World of Warcraft, and very specifically what that future is going to look like from like an everything perspective. So what can we expect from the War Within, Midnight, and then the Last Titan, the World Soul Saga? And that really is, big, bold, absolutely Blizzard going, yep, let's go for it. Like, let's throw everything on black, bet everything we've got, and see where it gets us. And that's a nice transition into the topic, really. Because fundamentally, if we go back to World of Warcraft, and really since Wrath of the Lich King, World of Warcraft has not really innovated at all within the space. In fact, we can probably look at Blizzard, where most companies would sort of expand their horizons, try a couple of new things. Blizzard have actually sort of, over the course of their history, actually narrowed their scope quite a lot. They used to have Warcraft, they used to have StarCraft, Diablo. World of Warcraft then came out, and that was sort of the big new thing. We would hear about all these games that they were trying. They had this Project Titan, and then Overwatch came out, and people were like, oh shit, here we go. And then again, just absolute silence with nothing else being really mentioned. Then we get this mention of a survival game that may or may not be happening, and then obviously that was cancelled. But really, if you look at it, a company that 20 years ago had something like 3 IPs with Warcraft, StarCraft, and Diablo, still kind of just had 3 IPs because StarCraft went away. So it was the Warcraft IP, the Diablo IP, and the Overwatch IP, which is great. But at the end of the day, that's not what you would expect. The normal growth trajectory of all companies is to expand the horizons. And Blizzard didn't really do that. Within World of Warcraft, of course, that becomes like even more noticeable. From Wrath of the Lich King onwards, there is almost no change in the MMO mantra that Blizzard built, right? This incredible blueprint that Blizzard had for how to make an MMO changed very little. Yes, here and there, Mist of Pandaria, for example, is a great expansion where Blizzard tried something brand new, and this was considered to be end-game zones, right? The first zones where at end-game you could go grinding with the Timeless Isles and so on. But then that became the new blueprint, right? That became part of the blueprint, and then every expansion after that would just have one of these zones, or maybe 2 of these zones, and the zones would basically look like the other. So really a company that was playing it very safe. Didn't want to take risks, because at the end of the day, risks are risky. That's why we call them risks. And if you, for example, are taking care of millions of players, and you're trying to keep all of these millions of players, the last thing you want is a massive risk that could end up just biting you in the ass. And I feel like Warlords of Draenor might have been like a big reason for that. They tried to go big, they tried to go bold, they tried to do something that they've never done in World of Warcraft before in Warlords of Draenor. And that really backfired badly. And it's almost as if right after that, Blizzard was, oh, no, let's not do that again. Let's just go back to what we know. Now, of course, many of you will point out, but Ackle, what about Legion? Legion had these artifact weapons. Yes, but these were not really reinventions of the wheel, right? This didn't really change the blueprint of the game. Instead of acquiring very powerful weapons every patch, you now just had like a very powerful weapon for the whole of the expansion. And it was a cool system at the time. But then again, you saw Blizzard sort of immediately fall into this blueprint, right? This happened once and it worked, so we're going to keep trying it. Again, playing it very, very safe. Anyways, I don't want to just talk about Blizzard playing it safe. I want to talk about what recent developments can teach us about the new Blizzard. So let's go back to last year, shall we? And let's go look at Chris Metzen. When Metzen announces on the stage, for the first time ever, a saga coming to World of Warcraft. It's big, it's bold, it's 3 expansions. Now, keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, just how much Blizzard is risking here. So they changed the structure of the company in its entirety, at least for the WoW team, where previously they had 2 teams, they now have 3. And each of these 3 teams are working on something very specific. So we already know that Midnight is well into development at this point. Like, well into development, probably nearing close of development now. This means that they're putting a lot of trust in, first and foremost, the War Within actually working and paying off, but then also Midnight actually working and paying off, and that whatever the hell they're going to do in the War Within is actually going to translate, and players are going to enjoy that within Midnight, because by the time Midnight comes out, The Lost Titan is pretty much finished with development, because this is how it works now. That's why they have 3 teams now, right? And so that means that for at least the next 6 years, if whatever you're doing in the War Within didn't work, it's not going to work for the next 6 years. That's a massive, massive gamble. But you know what? Good on them for it. Then we go to Season of Discovery. Classic WoW was actually not that big of a risk. Blizzard knew that people love this. They could literally go look at private servers and be like, oh, yeah, clearly people love this. So that wasn't really the big risk. Season of Discovery, on the other hand, was a phenomenal risk from Blizzard Entertainment, because this was them saying, you know what, we think we really could have a world here. We think we could have a universe here. And what happens if we actually start to develop this into something that doesn't look like Classic at all, but that really plays completely differently? Will players still respond to this? Is this worth putting as many hours into it as we want to? And as it turns out, yeah, absolutely. Players really enjoy it. You know, right now, the combined player base for World of Warcraft appears to sit at around 7.5 million players. Now, from what we know, Balula broke this first with a speech from John Haidt from the Games Developers Congress. No, what the hell am I saying? The GDC, right? Sorry, I don't know. Words, mind, all over the place. But anyway, so John Haidt says this, Balula covers this, and then Jez from Windows Central, holy shit, what is it with the C words right now? He covers it by reaching out to some of his contacts within Blizzard, and they actually confirm, yes, these numbers are very, very much what it looks like right now in World of Warcraft. So that is a massive jump from where we were like a year and a half, 2 years ago, even at this point. Now, there's been a lot of discussion within the community. Oh, it's Season of Discovery carrying this. No, it's the retail. I don't give a shit. It's WoW. It means that there's 7.5 million players playing it. And guess what? If retail comes back swinging in the War Within, all of that, let's imagine for a second the Season of Discovery is the one carrying it, and it has 6.5 million subscribers, and retail only has 1 million. Guess what happens if the War Within is actually really good? How many of those people will absolutely try retail? A lot, right? Because gamers just like good games. It doesn't matter if that's a retail or classic, but no one gives a shit. They just want real good games. So 7.5 million players is 7.5 million players. And again, it shows that Blizzard taking risks, betting it big, does pay off. And then, of course, we look at Plunderstorm. Plunderstorm is a great example of Blizzard taking risks. Now, I don't care where you fall on this. Did you hate it? Did you love it? I don't care. I think there's some things that we could point to and say this was maybe a really bad decision. For example, Blizzard deciding to put cosmetics into it for the retail version of the game. That was really unnecessary, because the very people that would probably want those cosmetics are not the very people that would enjoy playing Plunderstorm. Plunderstorm was really for PvPers. So, I don't know. It's sort of like Blizzard has this messy nature of putting rewards into content that then forces a bunch of people that hate that content to have to do that content. Torghast, here's looking at you, bitch. But anyway, so yeah, that aside from that, it is a big risk, and Blizzard was willing to take it. The WoW team was willing to go, you know what? Throw it all on black. Let's see how this plays out. And I think it played out well. I think it really worked. Even Diablo 4, right? Again, from Blizzard themselves. But even looking at Diablo 4, that was Blizzard going way outside their comfort zone. They could easily have just done more of Diablo 3. Just a little bit of upgraded graphics, and there you go, right? There's another Diablo 3 did just fine. They wanted to try something new. It's not always working, but they did want to try something new. And you know what? As a player, that's all I could ever ask for. If I can see that you're actually trying and you're willing to bet big, I'm going to applaud that. I might not play the things that you want to give me, but I'm going to applaud it. And we already know that in the War Within, Delves is going to be a big new feature. It's promised to be an evergreen feature, WoW's first ever. So that's going to be super exciting. I think the fact that Plunderstorm has been the success that it has, we may actually see more of this in the future. And that is the thing that excites me most for the War Within. It's that we can clearly see Blizzard wants to go big. They want to throw it all on black and see how it turns out. Will this be a win or won't it? From the lore perspective, though, as I said, I personally really hope, and this is going to be a super hot take, I realize a lot of you are going to be upset with me. Actually, you know what? No, I'm going to make another video about this because I do actually think I have way too much to say. Like, literally thinking about it now, I'm going to keep... I'm done. Ladies, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you. Let me stop because my mind's just all over the place. So, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button. If you disliked it, dislike button. For $1 a month, you too can keep this channel free from sponsorships that want to sell you shit that you do not need. Ladies and gentlemen, peace.